Thank you. Good morning, and thanks for the opportunity to bring a bit of a human face to the issue of obesity. I don't have any statistics. I don't have any papers to draw on for my presentation, except to say that I am one person from a group in Australia who is known to be the 20% that have a disability. It's probably fairly evident to you that I do have a disability. It's my hair colour that stands out, but there's nothing else that stands out about me. But 20% of the Australian community are known to have a physical, sensory, intellectual, psychiatric disability. And when you're one of those people, it doesn't seem that we fit the norm. And then I am drilled down again, where I don't fit any boxes. I don't fit spinal cord. I don't fit I sort of fit musculoskeletal. But there's a whole range of areas that I don't fit in. So today I want to present myself as someone who has had a lifetime of issues with weight. I want to talk today about the causes for me of my weight issues. I want to talk about some of the areas of work that I've done to improve my weight situation. I want to talk about the impact of my weight on my life. And then I want to talk about what I need. Now, the reality is, I am probably and have been for most of my adult life malnourished. Malnourished because it is not easy for me to prepare food. So my disability means that I have a weight issue. The fact is, I am morbidly obese. But notice I only say it in terms of weight. For me, morbidly obese is pretty confronting, but I've had to confront my disability, which includes my weight, many, many times in my life, and usually on a daily basis. So other than the very fact of my disability that has caused some of my weight issues, I'm very out of proportion. And that is part of the thalidomide reality. A lot of people with thalidomide disabilities, probably 80%, have legs that are fine, and they're affected from the waist up. I got the double whammy of both limbs, but I'm also incredibly blessed that I didn't get the internal organ damage. And I don't, at this stage, seem to have the neurological damage that a lot of the others are starting to get. So, but as part of my disability, there are a number of other aspects. I do experience depression. What do we know about depression? We know that medication works, and it does work, and we need to promote medication where that's appropriate. But medication of itself is an inhibitor to losing weight. Seeing a few nods around. Yeah, it's difficult. And then when it comes to my disability also, I live alone. I have done since my early 20s. I'm in my mid-50s now, and for 30 odd years, I deal every day with limited energy. It takes me every muscle in my body just to get dressed, let alone have a shower, let alone brush my hair, clean my teeth, put my glasses on. I'll defy anyone to use as many muscles as I do to put their glasses on. I'm deliberately choosing some of these activities just to keep the human face to some of the statistics that we've had presented today. I also put as one of my causes for my weight issue as the health profession. The health profession can't cope if you don't fit a box. They don't know how to provide me with an exercise program. I was seen by a dietitian in a hospital in the waiting room. I didn't even qualify for my own appointment. Disgusting. Not good enough. But this has then impacted on my life, because I think, well, if I'm not worthy of an appointment, if I'm only worthy of being seen in a waiting room, why do I bother? But I bother because I refuse to not be in people's too hard basket. It's not nice being in the profession's too hard basket. And before you sort of say, well, hang on, you can't poke the finger at us, what have you actually done to help yourself? I'll tell you what I've done. I've been on that proverbial diet since I was 3. I remember not being allowed things that the rest of the family were having because Mary is on a diet. That's tough. That's really tough. So I experienced real deprivation, and I do recall having a treat, and it would be 1 biscuit a week, and I made that biscuit last 3 hours. That's how much that biscuit meant to me. Everything I had to be diet cordial, diet this, diet that. It was difficult. I'm not saying that it didn't have to happen, because as a kid you don't make great choices. But to always be labelled and the one in the family as she's on a diet. Now, the other factor you also need to put in is that I didn't grow up in a regular family. I grew up in a foster family where there were 7 other people with a disability. None of them were on diets. It was just my disability created a metabolism that doesn't make it easy for me to deal with weight. What else have I done? I've done heaps of exercises. But now my weight is such that I struggle to even get down on the floor. I can get down, can fall down easily, but I can't easily get up. So that prevents me. The bed is too squishy for me to do, exercises on and things like that. So, and I really have to arrange it for when there's a support worker with me. my carer. So as if I do get stuck on the floor, I've at least got someone who can help me get back up or call the fire brigade, and that is not out of the question. That's what a lot of people with disabilities have to do. If they fall, it's the fire brigade that they're instructed to ring to come and get you up. What else have I done? I've tried weight loss food programs. In fact, I tried one just as recent as a couple of months ago. Whiz-bang one, recently on TV. What was the problem with that? Well, for a start, they still hadn't delivered my first meals within 4 weeks. I was starting to get a little bit off the idea by then. But then they use couriers. Are the couriers going to knock on the door and voluntary, oh, would you like us to put this in the freezer for you? Yes, please. No. I'd be lucky if they even come to my door. I'm having so many troubles with people with couriers that aren't even knocking on the door. And then I get a thing in the post saying, come and collect your parcel. I've been home. So this is becoming an issue. Where my local post office is, there is no disabled parking that I can access. I do drive a car, by the way. But there is no disabled parking I can access. So heaven help me if they deliver my weekly food, because by the time I'd get to it, it'd be defrosted. So they were going to deliver the food. Great. Where do you deliver to? The front door, thanks. Well, if you could come on a Monday and a Friday, that'd be really helpful, because that's when I have my carers, my support workers. Oh no, the day we deliver to your area is a Thursday. Are you hearing me? Flexibility, not there. And I was really excited about doing this program. I thought, finally, this is a program that will look at me being on an 800 calorie a day diet. That's literally what my body needs. Many years ago, I tackled, I think it was Jenny Craig or one of those, and they actually had to put it to their legals to see whether they could deliver me a program that was under 1,000 calories. They couldn't. They legally weren't allowed to. This new one, I was terribly excited. They will go down to 800 calories. I've had my doctor since I was, we celebrated our 31st anniversary yesterday when I went to see him. That's how long I've been going to him. Even when I lived in country New South Wales, I still made a point of coming down to see him. And I said, this is still an issue. He said, it always will be. I said, I think I'll probably need to weigh myself. And he said, why? Mind you, he's very obese now himself. He said, but why do that to yourself? Because you are what you are. What else have I done? I've actually had weight loss surgery. I did try and put myself forward for stomach banding. I took a friend with me, and I took a lunchbox, about yay big. You know what a lunchbox looks like. And I took a frozen food that I would cook up once a fortnight, and I had the same food for 14 meals in a row, because my carer we only had 2 hours to cook the food. So I had the same meal for 14 days in a row. And then I'd get really excited because the next day she was coming, oh, beauty, I can have chicken with vegetables this time and not mince. You know, this is the reality of a lot of people with disabilities. So I took this lunchbox of food with me to an appointment with a very learned professor, and I said, I'm interested in stomach banding and learning about it. I And he said something about, oh, well, of course, you know, we need to look at your intake. Yeah, I said, I don't eat a lot. Oh, my dear, he says, everyone says that. So with that, I pulled out a lunchbox and I said, that, sir, is my next 2 nights' meals. And he sat back and he said, in all my career, you're the first person to have done that. He said, if you can honestly say to me, that is for tonight's meal and tomorrow night's meal, it would be medically irresponsible of me to do lap band. He said, you're already down to the volume that we aim to get people. I was in his too hard basket. So the dietitian's seen me out in the foyer. The professor says I'm already doing what he aims to do with surgery. The next thing is to have liposuction and fat removal. I did that. Very effective for a lot of years. Then what happens? Midlife. Menopause. She's a bitch. But it's a reality. And I went as far as literally having a double mastectomy. Not because I have cancer, but because my boobs were causing neck pain, back pain, hip pain. And the poor surgeon just about freaked. I'm sure he sought legal advice between that appointment and the next. When I said, well, that's the next surgery I'm having from you. I'm sure he sought legal advice. And he said, I've got to tell you that you will be the only one in my professional life who I will ever agree to doing this for. Because he said, you do not fit the norm. Hallelujah. He saw it. He saw the struggles and he responded, which is wonderful. And I've never looked back. 5 years later, I've never looked back. Don't miss them at all. The thing is, I can laugh about my weight and I can help you understand through humour. But if I'm talking about it with my partner, I'm often in floods of tears. The tears are underneath the surface and they're very close right now. It is a difficult issue. It is a lifetime noose around my neck. I've tried private trainers, physical trainers. That's what my next step will be, is to try getting back into that. So I can't have done much more than what I've done. What I need is the health industry to get creative, to listen to what we are saying. And you know what? The worst part of obesity for me is the BMI. Because the first thing they want to work out is, what height would I have been if I didn't have a disability? Well, hello, let's all work it out. There's got to be another instrument. Because without a BMI, the health industry doesn't know what to do with me. And I am not the only person in this situation. I love swimming. I can do exercise. When I'm down on the floor, I'm mobile. I live on my own. I get in and out of my car. I get in and out of my bath. I can do all of that. I'm a lot more mobile than people give me, or would think to give me credit for. But I'm also a thinking, emotional person that needs the health industry to help me. And I guess in closing, I want to ask you, and it's a rhetorical question. You may or may not want to come and talk to me about it over the light lunch. As a health professional, which I'm assuming most of you are, my last question to you is, what would you do for me? Thank you.